Polo shirts are the best option for you to wear for those warmer months. They toe the line perfectly between casual and formal and are flat out one of the most versatile items that you can have in your wardrobe. So today we're going over 3 different levels of polo shirts, from cheapest to most expensive and most casual to most formal. That way, whether you're getting all dressed up and going to the office for work or just hanging out at one of your backyard barbecues, this video has got you covered and you're going to look absolutely amazing. Let's get right into it. The first polo we're going to go over is the cheapest and most casual option, which is this Under Armour polo that you can find on Amazon for about $30. Now, it is in my opinion that this is the best polo shirt that you can find on Amazon, just because it is so cheap, but it is also super comfortable as well. One thing that is super important about polo shirts is that collar. I've had many polo shirts many years ago where the collar just gets all floppy, bacony collar. I typically call them nutso collar. I don't know where I came up with that, just with filming these videos. I call it nutso collar, where the collar just kind of lays flat like that and flies away. I find these Under Armour polos, they don't do that. And sometimes it does start to spread a little bit too much for my liking, but 95% of the time, these polos are absolutely awesome. Now, I am wearing a size medium, and as you could see, I don't have it tucked in. You can tuck it in if you want, but these are going to be a lot more casual. Think of these polos, or this particular polo, as more of a dressed up option to your t-shirt. Since I don't really like to wear t-shirts at all, this is pretty much my navy blue t-shirt. I always feel a lot better. I haven't taken this to the gym. That's the last place that I wear t-shirts. But overall, this is what you're going to be working with here. It's got some decent length right there. Like I said, this is a medium. Just for reference, I am 6 feet tall, 200 pounds give or take, 42-inch chest. I wear a size 42 suit jacket, and you could see the shoulder seams hit exactly right there, and the what is this called? The sleeve hits perfectly between my bicep and tricep. Actually makes it look like I work out more than I do. Now, this polo is going to be on the more casual side. You can see you've got that nice gray accents on the inside right here, but you do have this gray Under Armour logo right there, which I don't love. Now, if you choose it in navy blue, it's going to start to hide that Under Armour polo. However, if you choose it in light blue, you could see how it starts to stick out a little bit more like a sore thumb. I usually wear navy, however, I do find that the light blue one can start to mimic a little bit a more dressy shirt, since a lot of times more dress shirts, like the ones you see over here, they do come in brighter colors, either white or some sort of light blue. So I have done this before, and it is okay. And again, these things are anywhere between $20 and $30 on Amazon, so you don't have much to lose. Give them a shot. Get a navy one, get a light blue one, and see which one you like better. If you wear a lot of dark blue pants on the bottom, you're probably going to be better off with the light blue, just because it's going to contrast a lot better. But if, like me, you tend to typically, if you're like me, you tend to typically wear the navy blue with the khaki colored pants, especially in the summertime. These just breathe a lot better than the jeans. Then that blue is going to be absolutely awesome. And I don't have a problem wearing a navy blue top with dark wash jeans. I think it looks absolutely fine. I'm okay with the monotone look. Now, these polo shirts are also going to be great to wear without an undershirt when the weather gets super hot. I've definitely done that before. It's very comfortable since they are made of this sort of mesh-like material. All right, for this segment, I'll just show you the light blue one as well. As you can see, for some reason, this one must be fresh out of the laundry since the collar is still looking very nice and intact. That Under Armour polo, take it or leave it. I mean, it's $30. It's a cheap polo shirt. It would be nice if they didn't have this, but it's there, and it is what it is. So it's kind of a little bit more dressy of that casual shirt, but you really still can't, you can't really wear it with a suit. Actually, let me show you what it looks like with the sport coat. That way you can see it better, because it's going to contrast better. So if you fix it like that, take a look at the collar. Collar looks pretty decent, but like I was saying before, the navy blue one, it doesn't take much for that collar to start to just kind of go over that sport coat right there, and this is not a great look. You always want your collar to stand up right against the sport coat. But you can see the coloring on this shirt looks absolutely great, Right now, just as you're seeing it, it looks fine. This is totally passable. Not with a full suit, I would urge you, but just with a nice sport coat and a nice pair of khaki colored chinos, khaki colored pants, or some sort of contrasting color with the navy blue. And as long as you're covering this part right here, the Under Armour logo, you're going to be okay. And there's also something called Slick Collar on Amazon. I will put a picture up of it right now. It's going to give your collar just a bit more structure, and you can get something else. What is it? I think I actually have it in here. What are these? These are called fashion anchors. They're just little circle dots that are sticky on both sides so that your collar can basically just be stuck together. That way it's not going to go like that. You can do the same thing with just a piece of tape. Just wrap it around, make it double-sided. Might be a little bit easier for you if you do want to wear one of these more casual polos with a sport coat. So I'd say if you're looking to step up your t-shirt game and you don't want to wear your long sleeve dress shirts or your long sleeve wrinkly linen shirts all summer, you want something that's nice and in between, definitely start with the Under Armour polos on Amazon. They will be linked below. This is a really nice and inexpensive, affordable option that mostly anyone can just give it a shot. You don't have to buy 5 of them at once. Just buy 1 or 2 and see how you like it. I think you're going to be pretty satisfied with these for those more casual weekend shirts. Now on to our next option. This is going to be your not super formal but not super casual shirt, but also not super expensive and not super cheap polo shirt. These are going to be the Charles Tyrwhitt Smart Jersey Polos. I picked 2 of these up. One in the white that you're seeing me wear right now, and one in navy blue. I like the navy blue better, honestly, but I wanted you to be able to see the collar on these, and it's a little bit easier if I just wear the white ones. Nice thing about these polos is they do have a button-down collar. However, it is hidden. Let me just unbutton it right there. You could see it's hidden right there. Not super easy. It's very awkward to button this collar, but see, I missed it. Yeah, it's tough to button this collar for some reason. I guess that's the price you paid for having a button-down collar, but not having it look like you have that button-down collar. So obviously for this one, with that collar being basically attached to the shirt, it's almost like you do have that little sticky thing, the fashion anchors I was showing you just a little while ago. You do have that built in, but it does look like you just have a regular collar. You don't have that button right there like you wear in an Oxford cloth button-down shirt. So that means that the collar is not going to go all floppy or anything like that. These are going to be a little bit more structured and just a little bit nicer of a polo than those Under Armour shirts. Notice no branding at all, so the shirt is just going to look a lot better when it comes to those business casual, almost started to get into semi-formal options or wardrobe options, but it's going to look a little bit better if you're going to the office and if you're dressed in even for a more casual summer wedding. Again, if we demonstrate that, throw on the sport coat, you could see now the collar pretty much, it might start to get a bit more floppy. There's not a lot of structure to the collar, but since it's a polo shirt and polo shirts are just going to be a little bit more casual than those super structured dress shirts with the stiff placket, which is the part of where the button is. This would be the placket right here. And those dress shirts are going to have those super stiff collars sometimes. It's not going to be like that. However, you could see it is just the collar is going to stay a little bit nicer against the sport jacket. So these are just going to be kind of like your nice mid-tier as far as formality goes. Now, while the Under Armour polos are usually $20 to $30, these I believe I picked up for $40 each. They were $39, $40, they run sales, but that's the annoying thing with these polo shirts. You do have to play the sale game. I purchased them about a month or so ago. Like I said, for $30 or $40 each. I'll put something up somewhere on the screen at some point just so that I can give you the real numbers. But then I checked just the other day and I found these are going for $60 or $70. I wouldn't spend $60 or $70 for these polos just because we're going to talk about our third and more formal option in a little bit, but that's just kind of annoying. I know that's just the name of the game. That's part of the business. Companies have to actually put things on sale to create some urgency to make some profit. I totally understand that, but it is really annoying that you have to wait for a sale. Some other companies like Cole Haan, Allen Edmonds, Banana Republic, J. Crew, they all do the same thing, and it's just super annoying. Whereas companies like, what's a company? Suit Supply, which is very expensive for casual wear. Thursday Boots, These other companies, they don't run sales all the time, so you can simply just save up your money, you find what you want, and then you can just pull the trigger. Maybe you can get a 10% discount if you want it, but again, 10% off of $70, you're going to pay $70 versus $63. It's not going to really be a huge deal. Sure, $7 is $7, but it is kind of annoying that you do have to play the sale game. So Charles Tyrwhitt, you're just going to have to watch the website every once in a while. Time of filming this video is right after Memorial Day in 2025, literally the day after. So they probably did just run a sale. I haven't checked since, like I said, a couple of days ago before the sales come. So Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, holidays, around those times, you're probably going to get 3 for $100 or something like that. They do run sales like that, so just keep your eye on it. But they are going to be a nice, better alternative if you do want something that's still going to be casual, but it's also going to fit in a little bit more in those business casual, and you're going to start to be able to dress it up for more of those nicer summer weddings with your nice casual suit. Last but certainly not least, the most formal, although most expensive option on this list, the Collars & Co. Polo shirt. Now, longtime watchers, longtime viewers of the channel probably are not surprised if that's you. Thanks so much for being here with us. Collars & Co. Polo shirts are basically your short sleeve dress shirts with the placket that just stops right here. Now, I checked recently, they do make shirts, or they call them polo shirts, that have the button all the way down. To me, that's more of like a short sleeve dress shirt, but these shirts are going to be the best as far as a structured collar, and you can dress them all the way up to a nice formal suit. I have even, when I went to Ireland, when we went to Ireland last year, I ruined one of my white dress shirts, my only white dress shirt that I took, because the iron in the Airbnb was all dirty and I didn't actually check. And I just ended up wearing this white Collars & Co. Polo shirt. I threw a tie around and it looked just like I was wearing a dress shirt. The only thing that you couldn't see, or the reason why you could tell I wasn't wearing a full dress shirt, was because I didn't have any sleeve cuffs, since these are short sleeve. The collar and the placket on these are going to be the most structured. These things will never fly away on you. You won't get that nutso collar, and you can actually leave a couple of the buttons unbuttoned and it's not going to fall like this. Whenever I'm watching TV or whenever I see some of these shows and these characters are trying to look casual, cool, and I see the placket just collapses, it just looks super messy, super sloppy to me. You're not going to have that issue with these. Plus, you could always just button that button right there, and you can leave the top 2 buttons unbuttoned, and now you just got so much structure when it comes to the button area, the placket, and the collar, that you're good. The collar does feel like you have that cardboard insert. If you ever opened up a dress shirt where it's all folded up and it has that cardboard insert, it feels like that is just built in, and sometimes you'd think it gets a little bit uncomfortable, but I have not had any issues at all. These things also, you don't have to iron them at all. That also goes with the same with the Under Armour polos. The Charles Tyrwhitt, I wanted to say, they did come a little bit wrinkly out of the laundry. However, just leaving them hang up, they're okay. I don't feel like I have to iron them. And that is a huge win for Collars & Co. polos, and I was actually pretty surprised. If I don't have to break out my iron and spend 10 or 15 minutes, even though it's not a lot of time, for some reason ironing can just get super tedious. So these things, absolutely huge win. The fit on these shirts is a little bit weird. Again, I am wearing a size medium. They are a little bit longer. Someone asked recently in the comments if I could wear them untucked. This is just the full length untucked. You can see it is pretty long, but again, they're going more for, it seems like they're going more for those short sleeve sort of dress shirts where you tuck them in and they don't want you to have it to come untucked constantly. And that's another nice thing about these polo shirts, the Collars & Co. When you tuck these in, you barely have to adjust them. You know, with dress shirts, you're constantly having to tuck your shirt back in unless you're wearing those military shirt stays. These things, once they're tucked in, for the most part, I think moving around all day in the office, I adjust them maybe like once or twice, if that. They just set it and forget it, so it's really nice. I typically like to just keep this right here. I like to have the belt showing just so that I could show that the belt matches my shoes, since your belt should always match your shoes. That is a little style hack for you. The sleeves are a little bit long for my liking. I would prefer if they were just a little bit shorter, but again, the longer sleeves just play with the more formal look of these shirts. The shoulder seams, again, are just a little bit big on me. They're not like all the way down here. Like I've said in my other videos, I don't look like this guy, Ross from Friends, but this is okay. Buttoning the top button, plenty of room right there, totally appropriate to wear this with a tie. And the fabric isn't that classic casual polo fabric, not the peak cotton, but you could even tell with this polo shirt, here we go, the Charles Tyrwhitt and the Collars & Co. I don't know if the camera can pick this up. The Collars & Co. one is just a little bit more shiny, a little bit nicer, a little bit more formal, but that's going to just make it a little bit harder to dress down than something like the more matte finish of the Charles Tyrwhitt. Now, Collars & Co. also have a lot of options as far as patterns go. I have the light blue houndstooth right here. They also have a navy houndstooth, what I actually think looks pretty awesome. And then there's just a nice medium blue type gingham shirt right here. This one actually has a button down collar, which I don't prefer, but I just like this one since it's a nice pattern. And of course they come in the classic navy blue, the classic light blue, the classic white, so you're covered there. And again, wearing these with a suit, wearing these with a sport coat, the collar is just gonna stand right there. Again, set it and forget it. And most people, unless they realize that you actually have a placket, the button that stops right here, most people aren't going to realize that you're wearing a short sleeve shirt unless, like you and I, they're actually into it. We're going to be able to tell there's no shirt cuff right here, and we're going to say, okay, that's actually a Collars & Co. or a nicer polo shirt. But up top, from here up, you can see it looks exactly like a dress shirt since that collar is the star of the show. I mean, the name of the company is Collars & Co., so that collar is their main attraction, their main focal point of the shirt. Now, the main downsides, aside from the fit being a little bit weird of these shirts and the fabric just being a little bit too shiny in some situations, is going to be their price. $75 to $85 is going to be pretty steep for one shirt, and you can get them on sale for about 10% here and there, or if you do, like you buy 3 or 4 of these shirts, you get 20% off. But then you're spending a couple of $100 anyway. It'll probably just be cheaper for you to buy 1 or 2. Honestly, don't let these advertisers or don't let these businesses get you with that. Buy more and save. No, buying more, you can't save money by spending more money. You save money by buying just what you need. Anyway, another video for another time, but that is definitely a major downside to these shirts. However, if you think of the value of these shirts, maybe that means instead of having 5 long sleeve dress shirts and a couple of Charles Tyrwhitt polos, you only have 2 long sleeve dress shirts, and these can start to replace your long sleeve dress shirts, since these you could also wear underneath V-neck sweaters as well, and that can start to look a lot more interesting than just your long sleeve dress shirt tucked in with the sleeves rolled up here. Both looks are going to be good, but just something to think about. Yes, these shirts are very expensive, but they can do double or triple duty. If you get them in navy blue, if you get them in a nice pattern, pretty much if you get any color, even the white ones. The white ones obviously are going to be the most formal. The patterns in navy blue is going to be the most casual. But you can totally wear these with jeans. You can wear them with shorts. You can still wear them to your backyard barbecues. A bit too nice if you're going to be spilling food on them or taking them, roughhousing with them. But just something to think about. These are the most versatile polos on the list today. They are also the most expensive, and the jury is still out as far as the durability. I don't wear these all the time, but so far I've had them all for about a year, give or take, or maybe almost 2 years actually, and so far so good. There is no signs of wear and tear, nothing, no loose stitching, nothing like that. I will say that I don't put them in the dryer. I just ask the laundromat to hang dry them afterwards, and then I don't have to iron them. So definitely just cold water wash them and hang dry them. That's a good way of getting all of your shirts to last a lot longer. But yeah, that's pretty much the main downside, aside from just them looking a little bit nicer for those super casual settings, and the fit just being a little bit wonky, the sleeve being a little bit too long. It's going to be that steep price point. All right, those are our 3 main options for polo shirts. A couple of other notes to help you. Definitely stick to the basic colors. I'm talking light blue, I'm talking navy blue, and I'm talking white. I get the most use out of the navy blue Under Armour polos. Honestly, I wear these things all the time, so I would definitely invest in 1 or 2 pairs of these, or 1 or 2 shirts of these just at first. It's definitely going to help since these are going to be the cheapest. And then after that, I would either get a light blue Collars & Co. polo, or I would get a white Charles Tyrwhitt. I'd probably go with a light blue one first, or honestly, I would just find room in my budget to get a light blue and a white one, just because your white one can stand in with your dress shirts if you're wearing them under a suit or a sport coat, and your light blue one is going to be the most versatile option. It's going to match with everything. Now, as far as Collars & Co., as much as I love them, I don't think it is very practical for you to go out and buy 5 or 6 of them. That's going to cost you a couple of $100s. So I would just buy maximum 3 of whichever ones you think you're going to enjoy the most. And matter of fact, what I would do is where did I put it? I would go ahead and definitely get 2 light blue Collars & Co. polo shirts. That way you're covered for wearing them to the office. If you have money left over, I would say definitely get a white Collars & Co. polo shirt, because it's going to be super versatile. But if the budget's starting to get tight, you can definitely step it down to the white Charles Tyrwhitt Smart Jersey polo. This is going to save you a little bit of money. For your navy blue polos, you can go Charles Tyrwhitt, because it's going to be just a little bit nicer as far as like this is going to be $40, but it's totally okay if you just want some nicer weekend shirts. You can get a couple of these. That's just going to maximize the amount of polo shirts you're going to have, but you're also not going to go super broke either. That being said, I will say that if you can swing just spending $10 more, catch them on a sale, the Charles Tyrwhitt polos, I would definitely get a couple of these. I wouldn't have 5 of these and 1 Charles Tyrwhitt. I would probably have 2 or 3 of the Under Armour polos, and I would keep 2 or 3 of the Charles Tyrwhitt for the navy blue ones. I don't know if I would invest in the navy blue Collars & Co. These are nice, but I don't wear these as much. When I'm wearing navy blue, I'm usually in a more casual situation anyway. So I would just look at all that stuff, figure out where it makes the most sense to spend that money, and then just go from there. But again, light blue Collars & Co. polo shirt, this is going to be your best option. Buy 1 or maybe 2 if you can afford it. Don't worry about your patterns yet. The white, if you have money in the budget, get that Collars & Co. polo in white. If you want to save a little bit of money, totally fine to get the Smart Jersey Charles Tyrwhitt polo right here. And as far as navy blue, split the budget, or split between, get a couple of Under Armour polos and get a couple of Charles Tyrwhitt polos. Or you could even just get Under Armour polos and just get 1 Charles Tyrwhitt. I had to cough real quick. You can get a couple of Under Armour navy blue polos. Those are going to look totally fine in a lot of casual situations. And if you want to get 1 or 2 navy blue Charles Tyrwhitt polos, you can do that as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.